that on the bills. In fact, Rutgers University, their Center for Green Building, is going to feature FADRS Smart Grid technology in their green manual that they're publishing at the end of the year to show how energy conservation measures are working in commercial and industrial settings. So that's a nice thing. We got a nice letter from the PJM Grid that is an endorsement of FADRS, which I was very, very pleased about. FADRS did get Innovation of the Year award from the U.S. Green Building Council in the New Jersey chapter, and CED got the Minority Energy Company of the Year award for the Northeast by the U.S. Department of Commerce. So there's a lot of support on the part of the BPU. We're making some inroads with the big utility companies. EDA is very fond of this and very fond of us working with other folks that are in startups that are all working toward the same goal. And so I would definitely encourage collaboration wherever possible.
Right. Well, now I wanted to ask you, what made you, after all these years of being in business, turn to the idea of working with an incubator?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I actually did not think that an incubator was for me. My thought process was incubators were for people that had a nice idea and needed a little inexpensive home that they could be able to go to and pay very little money for internet access and computers and phones and that sort of thing. And they could be able to work inside of that environment for about 5 years until they were able to do a beta of their invention. I had already commercialized FADRS, so I didn't really think that really applied to me. But where I was wrong is I met you at one of those fairs, and I was convinced at that point that although we have our own office and so forth, there was no reason for us to not take advantage of the incubator program, because after all, FADRS is a startup technology. Our company is not. We've been around for 23 years, and we do all the things I talked about earlier, but we've never done FADRS. So FADRS is a startup product. It's a startup operation. So therefore, we need a business plan like everybody else. We need to be able to get investors like other people. We need to be able to establish a method to go to market, and to go to market in a big way. So yeah, I think you convinced me that the incubator process was a good idea. Thank you.
Okay. Well, so you basically were persuaded that there was something there of value. In terms of your services, or the suite of services that you've taken advantage of since you've started working with us, you worked a little bit with me, and we put you in contact with some people, and you worked a lot with Jackie Karzeski, who's our financial wizard in this. Tell me a little bit about what she's done for you, what we've done for you, and what you would recommend for other people looking at this same kind of challenge.
Well, it's all been positive. I mean, first of all, you introduced me to Paul Heitman.
Yes.
Wonderful guy, fellow musician.
Yes.
I know it sounds like it's totally off the beaten track, but for those of us those people that know me, they know that I don't see any difference between creating music or creating anything else. Just different methods of expression, that's all, and different tools. It's the same creative process. So anyway, Paul introduced me to some pretty big folks at the PJM Grid, which was my meeting in January that led to all of this relationship that we ultimately ended up with the grid. You seem to have this cachet of a lot of people that you know, and so I really think that I'd like to tap into that and get to meet people that could be helpful to our company. You're certainly well known in the industry, so that's a good thing. And Jackie Karseski, phenomenal. She's excellent CFO.
Mm-hmm.
She understands how a business works. She understands how to, how to create a financial business plan that's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
And she's willing to work with you and be patient,
Right.
which you need.
Yeah.
You need somebody that's willing to be patient because this is all new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's new to her, it's new to me.
Right.
But ultimately, after a couple of months, I think we came up with a great financial plan, very sustainable business.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike other startups, though, this business wouldn't take 5 years to start making money. Actually, this business could make money right from the jump.
Right.
So that was an interesting thing. So now
Right.
she's working on the verbiage
Mm-hmm.
surrounding the financials, but
Right.
And then we'll have the completed business plan.
Right. Now, we like to think of ourselves, even though we don't have a physical facility, but being kind of a one-stop shop for
Mhm.
the needs of startups, whether they're independent startups or whether they're enterprises,
Mhm.
which is how we think of your
Mhm.
business, because you already had an existing business,
Right.
and this is launching a new product.
Mm-hmm.
So, are there other things that you see that we could potentially bring to you? What's the primary value? Is it contacts? Is it expertise? How would you characterize that? And what would you say to other people looking at the same kind of a opportunity?
Well, one of the things that one of those thin lines that any entrepreneur has to deal with is promoting his or her product,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time doing it in a way that you're not coming off like you're doing too much self-promotion.
Right.
That's a very delicate thing. So
It is.
it's so much better to have somebody like yourself and your team to help promote your product
Mm-hmm.
to the places that need that kind of service, and help us to be able to logically put together a plan of attack to market and sell the product. And that means that I have to do a lot less self-promotion,
Mm-hmm.
and I can be spending more of my time developing a group that can handle the infrastructure,
Mm-hmm.
and the running of the business, which I don't really want to do
Okay.
because I've done this for a long time, and I don't need to practice. And
Yeah.
and then of course making sure that we have the folks that have the funding that can be able to
Mhm.
really help us make a deep penetration into the market. Because really, what I'd like to do is spend more time developing new product. I'd like to be able to take FADRS to newer levels, and put a lot of distance between our company and competitors,
Okay.
potential competitors. But I also have other inventions that are related in the energy business, some that are not related, but that can help serve the needs of the human race, that make life easier for people.
Mhm.
Not again, all global issues are nothing just America centric. This is
Right.
really people centric,
Mhm.
human centric, and so if I can be able to have folks like you that can help me move this product along, and we can be able to have a good sustainable business, I can be able to spend time developing these other products,
Right.
and again with the same group, bring those products, out into the world, and get them created and get them working and making money for a lot of other people. So it satisfies my need for creativity, and it satisfies the needs of many other people in terms of making a living, a good green living, and at the same time feeling really good about what they're doing in their life.
Great, great. So you would say that we have brought some unexpected value that we're adding to this
Yeah.
process? And,
Yeah.
and part of it is the kind of credibility that comes from our having checked out the technology
Mhm.
and working with you on the business plan and the marketing plan,
Yes.
and being able to connect you with the people which we'll really be able to put this thing into the mainstream, which
Right.
is our next objective.
Yeah, that I would say is a fair statement.
Right.
Not something that I envisioned a year and a half ago, but
Right.
something that I was happy to come across.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, it was a
And
pleasure.
I'm looking forward to showing this to our group next week and potentially using this for other promotional purposes. So,
Great.
thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Thank you.
Great.